Hello. In this video we will be discussing many concepts. One of them will be remote management. We will be using two protocols for remote management. One will be telnet and other will be SSH. Now, why to use telnet and why to use SSH? We will be discussing this in great details. Then we will see what are the problems in telnet. Why should we be using SSH? Plus another indirect benefit of this video will be, suppose if in your organization, in your college, you want to set up Linux lab, we will be discussing that also. Okay, how to quickly set up Linux labs. Now it is necessary because everywhere now Linux is being used, so we always said that colleges should have Linux labs, so we will be discussing that also. For discussing this concept, I have created one diagram in packet tracer. What is the diagram? This is the diagram. In packet tracer, I'm just using it for making the diagram. We will be taking 4 systems. The name of our lab is Telnet SS Remote Management Lab. Here we will be involving 4 systems. One will be your server 51.example.com. It will be having IP address of 172.24.0.51. In previous videos we have already discussed how to implement yum servers, how to give IP addresses to your Linux, and how to install some software. In this case we are using Red Hat Enterprise 6, and we also know how to give proper name. So in this case we have given the name server51.example.com to this system, and the IP address is 51. This will act as a server. We are assuming that this server is in Delhi. We are just assuming. Then we have created 3 users, Vipin, Ania and Nannu, and I have, for simplicity, I have given password 1 to everyone. Then we will see how to install the telnet server on this system, and then how to configure that telnet server, and then SSD server, how to install SSD server. Then on client side, we are assuming that we are in Chandigarh and we have got 3 systems there. 2 are Windows systems. WinMe represent Windows. One Windows system will be having the address 172.24.0.2 and the name of the system is C2. Another system, again Windows system, it will be having the address 172.24.0.40. Name of the computer will be C40. Then another system, again Linux system, server61.example.com, it will be having 172.24.0.61 address. Now from C2 we will try to log in as Vipin user. From C40 system we will try to log in as Ania user to this system, Delhi system, and from 61 system we will try to log in, and we will see whether we are able to log in or not. We will be covering all this. First of all, let us check whether we have properly configured our IP addresses or not. We will be one by one, we will be going towards our Linux system, then to Windows systems, and then our Linux. First we want to, whenever you have to learn any concept in Linux, just first make one proper diagram, then involve those systems, whether these are 2 or 3 or 4 systems, properly give the IP addresses, then start learning the concept. That is the best practice. Now at this point of time the lab might not be clear to you, but as we are going to explain this lab, everything will be crystal clear. So First of all, I am moving towards the system server 51. I have just named my system like RH651. This will be 51 system hour, server 51.example.com. This R61, this will be our server 61.example.com. This will be our Windows system. This will be our another Windows system. 2 mean it will be having name C2 and the IP address will be 172.24.0.2 and this will be 172.24.0.40. We have constructed the lab in such a way so that we are able to Linux to Windows networking, Linux to Windows networking and Linux to Linux networking. This lab will make clear all the things, how to perform Windows to Linux networking and Linux to Linux networking. So first of all, I'm moving to this. What is the command for checking the IP addresses? ifconfig. As we know, now the address of our system is 172.24.0.51. ETH is the LAN card, name of the LAN card, host name is the name of our system, server41.example.com. And what about DNS domain name? Example. That means properly configured. Now we want to see whether we have already created the users or not. So as we have already discussed in previous videos, the password file contains the information of all the users. So I'm just going to look at with which command? Tail. Tail command is going to show you the last 10 lines. As can be seen, U1 user there, but what we are interested, Vipin user is there, Anya user is there, Nano user is there. In previous lab we have created the user. If you have not created the users, you can just with this command, user add command, you can create with this. And how you are going to give the password? You can give in this way, password, that we already know. Then we will go to the second system and we'll check that as ifconfig, that is 61 172.24.61, host name is server61.example.com, DNS domain name, again it is correct. And we will check the ping command also, whether they are able to ping or not. 72.24 connectivity is ping, it is pinging, it will go on continuously pinging, so you have to press Ctrl+C to cancel. Or there is one very useful, another useful command is there. I will clear the screen. What is that command? C4. What I am saying, please send 4 pings, sometime very useful. Now we are clear about this. Now I will go to XP2. What is the way? There are 2 ways of checking. My network places, local area connection, properties, it is having that as 2. From where I am going to check the name, my computer, right click, properties, computer name, C2 is the name, so it is okay. And what was the other way? Just type cmd command, press enter. What is the command? IP config. Sorry, yeah, in Linux it is ifconfig, in this IP config it is showing user address. Or If we are going to say all, because it will give lot of output, you can use more also. So what is saying? C2, everything is clear. I will clear the screen. I will use the ping one, whether there is connectivity or not. First we should be having the connectivity. It is having the connectivity. By default, Windows sends 4 packets. If you want to continuously ping, what you can put? You can put T behind. Now it will continuously go on pinging with Control C. Again we are clear. Now for system, again right click, properties. We will check the address. If it is not according to, we are going to change. It is 40, no issue. And what about name of the computer? Properties, C40. Everything is perfect. What was the other way? CMD IP config. It is 40. We will check the connectivity. Ping 172.24.0.50. I will clear the screen. That means, according to our lab, each of these system is able to ping to 172.24.0.71. Up to this point, our lab is clear. The first thing is connectivity, checking the connectivity by using ping command. Now, one another thing, because I'm using virtualization, just look at the, I have in each and everything I have selected the bridge. Again bridge. If your systems are not pinging, please double check. Bridge. All the systems are in bridge. So no issues. Now we want to install the telnet server. SSH is already installed. So there are two ways. First way is, if you have not implemented the YAM server, just go to where ftp pub directory. As we have already copied the DVD. In previous video I have shown how to copy the DVD. And this, there is one package directory which is very important. Go to this directory and which telnet server. This is the one way of installing. What it is saying? Already installed. How to remove the package? E telnet server. E mean erase. This will erase. And how to install? I will again repeat. It has installed. Now I am going to remove it. What is the other method? For other method, you do not need to be present into packages directory. From anywhere you can install. What is the command? Yum install telnet. There are two packages. One is telnet server, that will act as a server, and another is telnet client. In our case, what we are interested, but this command will run only if you have implemented the YAM server. As we have already implemented the YAM server, so we are going to run this command. it will install the package plus dependencies package. Now installing package does not mean already your server is implemented. You have to configure, or you have to own the servers. You can say you have to activate the server. So what is the command? Check config telnet on. This will be more than sufficient, but sometimes even after running this command your telnet will not work. Sometime you might have to run this command also, exine td restart, because telnet is one exine td based service. So sometimes telnet does not get activated. If there is some problem, you are not able to use the telnet, just run this command also, service exine td restart. So we have to, although 95% time you will not need to run this command. That means already now we have powered on your telnet server. Now I will run one who command. Now what the who command is going to show? How many users are logged in. In our 51 system only one user is logged in. Now what I am going to do? I will go to this C2 system, and from C2 system I will try to access this system. We will see how to access this system. So I am going to XP2 on command prompt. I will just go back a little bit so that it was not necessary, this step was not necessary. So what is the command for remote management? That means telnet, where you want to go? We want to go 172.24.0.51 system. As you can see, we are getting the Linux prompt. What is the user? Vipin. Now if I am going to come to my server, if again I am going to run this command, what will happen? What it is showing? Root user is login locally TTY1. And what about Vipin user? sudo terminal. What it is saying? It is remotely login. From which system? 172.24. That means who command is very useful. It will show you how many users are connected to your system and from which system. Plus another advantage is that means if I have got a lab in which there is only one Linux system and rest are hundreds of Windows system, by having one Linux system you can run Linux on each and every system by using which command? Telnet command. Now I will clear the scene. Now just tell me one thing. What will happen if I am going to create this file? Whether this file will be created on Windows or this server 51. It will be, because by default we are doing work on which system? 51. So whatever data I am going to save, it will be getting saved on this 51 system. That is true client server model. We are just using the system this XP2, but actual work is being performed on 51 system. True client server. I will clear the screen. Now I will go to the another Windows system. Again I am just moving one step back. I will clear the screen. Telnet 172.24.0.51. Oh, which user we want to log in? Anya. So what will happen if now I am going to, what it is showing? Vipin is login from 2 system and Anya is login from this, and plus this XP2 and our Windows system, but we can work on Linux also. That means for constructing Linux lab as such we need only one system. We can configure the lab in such a way from even Windows systems we can run the Linux without installing. So we are logging in as Vipin user, Anya user. Now I will go to the Linux system. I am moving towards which system? Linux system. That means from this system we logged in as a Vipin. From this system we logged in as Anya user. Now we are moving towards our 61 system. From this system we will be remotely logging to this system. So what will happen? What is the command? Same command, telnet 172.24.0.51. So which is the user? Nano. Sometimes the telnet client might not be there. It might be giving message telnet not found, command not found. So you can always yum install telnet. It will install the telnet command. Now again, on which system we are working? 51. I will go to this system. Now look at that is extremely useful. That means Vipin user from 2 system, Anya user from 40 system, Nano user. That means whether Vipin is doing some work, Anya is doing some work, Nano is doing work, everything will get stored into server 51, and the user can take the backup of home directory. If that user is going to take the backup of home directory, we can have the backup of all the users. What happens if you are not using this type of lab? Now students will use one system, they will save the data. When they next day they are going to come to the computer, that data might be deleted. Somebody has already deleted the system, or they have to sit on the same system. But if you are using this type of lab, no issue. What we can do? We can centrally store the data, and plus if we have installed C here, C++ here, Java here, each and every user, that means user from XP2, XP40, 61, they will be able to use PHP, C, C++, Java. That means constructing a lab is very easy. Plus second advantage is remotely. But can we remotely manage by using Vipin user? Suppose now I am into this C2 system. I want to add another user. Suppose X1 user I want to add. Will I be able to from remotely able to add the users? Let us see. So I am this system. I am trying to user add X1. Oh, you cannot use. You have to log in as a root user. So we will see whether we are able to log in as a root user or not. With Control D, I will log out. Now what I will try to do? Again I will run the same command. Now I will try to log in as a root user. Now why it is not allowing me to log in as a root user? Because suppose, to make you understand, suppose we have got one another system. I am just putting this one another system. I am attaching wire. And suppose I am giving it some address 172.24.0.50. It could be Windows system, it could be Linux system, And if I have installed one tool, very powerful hacking tool, Wireshark. Now what the Wireshark does, now when this C2 system is going to log in to this Delhi system, 51 system using telnet. Now telnet sends the traffic in clear text. Wireshark will capture the traffic. That means if we are logging as a Vipin user, it will capture the username and password of Vipin user. If it is root user, it will capture the password of the root. That is why by default Linux system does not allow you to log in as a root user. So that is why I will delete this, just to make you understand. That means I cannot directly log in as a root user. So what I have to do, I will log in as Vipin user. Which command? Then switch user minus root. It is necessary to put hyphen, other you are not going to get proper root environment. Now we can log in. Now I can user add whichever user I want to. That means I can perform remote management task. That means you cannot directly log in as a telnet user, normal user. You have to root user. You have to log in as a root simple user. Then with su command, you can switch to another user. That is why when you are installing Linux, it asks you to create one user, because if you want to remotely management, then you have to do. Now, as we already know, this is not secure, so I will log out from this system also, from this system also, from this system also. So there is another protocol. That protocol is SSH, secure shell. Now what is the command? First we will from this system SSH as which user? Nannu @172. Now what we are saying? Please SSH go to which system? 51 system. When it is going to ask for the username, just supply the Nannu user. Now this is very secure protocol. And when first time you are going to access any remote system, it will ask whether the system to which you want to connect is secure or not. If you are going to say yes, then only it will allow you to. Now this SSH is secure, very secure. Wireshark will have no effect on this. Wireshark cannot capture that data. Even if it is able to capture data, all will be in encrypted form. Now can I directly log in as a root user? Yes, no issue. Root, what is the password? That means I can directly log in as a root user also, no issue. That means as a simple user, no issue. Now I will go to the Windows. Now from window, I want to securely access my Linux system. So we will run the same command, SSH. What was the command? Vipin @0. We will see. What did he say? SSH, not a recognized command. Because SSH is not there. Windows is not a secure platform. Windows does not have many security principles. So even in Windows, we do not have any software to securely connect to our Linux system. So open source people came to our rescue. They have given us one software called Putty. This is freely available, you can download this. And now we are going to click on this putty 172.24.0.51. now SSH work on 22 port, that we will be discussing later on. Host name, I will say open. Again it will ask whether the system is secure, we will say yes. Which user? Vipin. Password. That means if we have to, we can use telnet. If it is Linux client, from Linux SSH command we can use. But if it is Windows system, what software we have to use? Putty used when you want to access your Linux system securely using SSH protocol, then putty is the preferred software. That means now we are clear. That means we can remotely manage ours or remotely access our servers. Now everything is clear. That means putty is, you can use telnet from Windows and Linux to connect to this system. And if you have to securely connect to your Linux system, which protocol you are going to use? You will be using SSH, then name of the user which is there, then what we have to say, the protocol that we will be using, sorry, address. And you can directly log in as a root also, but for the telnet you cannot remotely log in. So that was our lab. Now what is going to happen? Another thing, if now I am going to run this command, what it is showing? It is showing I am connected from Vipin user, from 2-number system, from none user section. So I will go to the zone. I am just going to show you one command, write nano. That means I want to talk to Nandu. Hello, how are you? Look at this. It is showing the message. Control D, it will clear that means chatting like facility is there. Sorry, I just logged out. I will again log in. What is the another command? You can use wall. Hi, hello. Now this message with me, and it will go to the. That means when we are constructing this type of lab, this is act as a centralized server, so you can always remotely connect to this. And these systems, this Vipin user, this Anya user, they can communicate with each other or they can chat. Now what will happen if I am going to stop the service? Now I will go to this system, I will log out from this system. Again I will log out. Now what I am going to say, check config telnet off. Sometimes we need to service exine td rest. Now we are not able to connect, but we are able to connect by using SSH, no issue. Suppose If I want to stop SSH, then what is the command? Now no need to implement SSH. We want to check SGD status, it is running. So how to stop? Stop. Now it is stop. Now we will see connection refused. Again I am starting. So mostly the telnet is off because this is a not secure server and SSH is secure. So each and every system, if you have to manage, SSH is used preferably. And if we are using our Linux machine in cloud, by default telnet will never be used. In cloud computing we never use telnet. We have to manage our remote machine using SSH only. Now hopefully this lab is clear. Again I am going to repeat this. I think we constructed one lab, telnet SSH remote management lab. We took 4 systems. It is not necessary you have to took the 4 systems. Our purpose was to show you the Linux window networking, Linux networking, and we created the machine in such a way that to our server we give the name server51.example.com, IP address 51. We created 3 users, Vipin, Anya and Nannu, and we implemented telnet server and SSD server. In Linux the servers are called daemon, secure shell daemon server, and we are assuming this is our daily system. Then we took 2 Windows system. 2 was the address, C2 was the name of the system, then another Windows system, C40 system, and the address was 40. Then one Linux system, that system was 61, and name was also server 61. So we set up the line. Then from this system we try to log in as a Vipin user, from this system Anya user, from this system Nannu user, and we were able to show you that it was working properly. And we can disable also the SS by check config telnet off command and SSH by stopping the SS server. So that completes our SSD server.